What's up guys, SP Architects here. Today I want to show you Twinmotion 2024.1 preview, the new version of Twinmotion. If you want to use this software, now it's free. It's not completely free, there are some rules for this. If your company has the limits for the $1 million, if your income is higher than $1 million, you must pay the price for the Twinmotion. If not, it's free for you. Now, to download it, in order to update your Twinmotion, you will open your Epic Games launcher and you will go to this Twinmotion tab, and here you can see the new version of the Twinmotion. But I have uninstalled the previous version and I have downloaded the new version from here. To uninstall, you will click this icon and from here you will click this uninstall. Anyway, what's the news for this new version? If we go to this page, I will copy this link to the description, and here we will see, first of all, it uses the Unreal Engine 5.4 new version, so you can benefit from all the newly left features. Okay, first of all, we have this new spacing and area tools. This is very important because I have tested it out and redo with you. This is very useful. As you remember, we were using the paint tool for this job, and you will see this is way more useful faster. But of course, it has some limitations. Rigid animated objects are not supported and only usable on horizontal surfaces. We have new render layers. This works for if you want to edit your renders from different software such as Photoshop. You can do that right now. Just be careful, it has its own limitations. It works only for standard and Lumen for the rendering engine. And the sky layer is not completely opaque. Alright. Our material creations have some new features. It's now easier, as you can see. But the more important thing is, now we have this ambient occlusion texture, which you can use black and white textures on your own diffuse layer, and this will significantly increase your material quality. We have very big changings about the bloom, and now we have a different fabric material. We can use it right now in foliage material. The camera settings was changed, etc, etc. As you can realize, the biggest changings are this spacing and area tools and ambient occlusion, bloom improvements, and fabric. Now let's see together what are they, how we can use them. Let's go to Twinmotion. Alright, here we are in Twinmotion, and at the very first I want to inform you about my system, computer system. I have 32 GB RAM and I have GeForce RTX 3070, and I have a low quality CPU E5-8400. Now, after giving this information, here you can see the scene. It's very fluently and I can move the camera very easily. It's enough for this scene, and also I can open this vegetation from here. By the way, this is a sample scene. You can download it from the main software, from the opening homepage, from here. Now I'm gonna check this on and you can see the trees, or not. It's not important right now. I'm going to disable it. First of all, if we go to populate from here and click the place, we will see the symbols are changed. We have new symbol for the paint, scatter, but most importantly, we have the spacing and area. Let's use them. For instance, let's say that we are going to use some trees around these barriers. Let's start from here, and I'm gonna click one by one until there. But it's too sharp. You can make it smooth from this pad tension. Now I will reduce this. Now it's completely smooth, and I will increase its corner. I want this smooth tension, and here you can see we can place to drop to assets here. We will go to library, go to vegetation, go to trees, and we can just drag and drop to here which material, which tree we want. Let's try this one. Oh, it's too big. I'm gonna delete from here, and I think this Italian cypress is smaller. Anyway, we can reduce the scale from here. We will click this tree, and you will see these settings per object is activated, and we can reduce this scale offset from here. But to see it, you must unclick this bar. If you don't hold your clicking, it won't change the viewport. I only click, not dragging and dropping. After that, we can change the random scale to increase the realism, rotation, random rotation, and this is snap to surface. This is very important because, for instance, if I click here, now I will change its height. And it snaps to surface. If I uncheck this, it will use this curve. It will place the trees exactly right onto this line. If not, they will seek a surface and place the trees onto it. If we click this align, the trees will be perpendicular, actually this equal to its normal, face normal. To test it, I will move this node to here, and you will see it changes according to the direction of this rock. It's very useful for some stations, because if you have a sloped road, your line will be completely with your road, and you can easily place your trees. Let's add different trees. Let's add maybe this one, and you can select them differently. I will change the scale for this tree, and there you go. We did the changings. This is the settings per object, and also we have main scattering settings. This count is your maximum count. That means if I move this to here, if we sum up the trees, we will only see 10 trees. But if we click by distance, now we can see lots of trees according to this distance. I want to set this distance 3 meters, and every 3 meters we will see a tree. Let's say that we have moved this point to here, and this is flat. Don't worry, we can place additional point exactly by clicking this plus. And now I can move this. This happens because this line passes through on this barrier. So to fix it, I will change the line location. Let's add another here and move. Now we have something like this. I will click this laurel and I will click this align. Because as you remember, settings per object works for each object. By the way, you don't have to use this tool for the trees. You can use this for the different types. Let's say that, let's create another. Let's say that we are going to create line, road line, like this. Of course, we can do this very easily. Again, we will go to populate, spacing, and once we did before, I will place something like this and reduce the pad tension to make it smoother. And then I will go to the objects, decals, and I will place this single dash marking. Now it's rotated perpendicularly, and I will rotate this from here. I will select this single dash and settings per object, and I will input here 90. That's all. I'm gonna add another here and fix this position. Now, after doing that, I will create another populate and I will place some cars. To here. I'm gonna delete this placeholder or make it invisible. After that, I will click this from here, or you can use the scene graph. Let's go to object, vehicle, cars, and I will just drag and drop to here. Let's add different car types. And there you go. It's very easy and smooth, but they're not aligned. If you click align, they will align onto the road. This happens because this road different tracks. It's not flat. Most of the scenes it will work perfectly because your models will be way more flat, and since this scene consists of different models such as these stones, it's not flat, therefore this aligning is not a clever way of using this. Once we have done this, we can click this by distance and we can change this according to our car parking area, and of course we can use some random lateral offset. We can use this random order, etc, etc. Now I will show you the other feature, this area. The settings are different. You will see that. Let's say that we will use this area for placing trees. I'm just clicking around this hill and you can already see these arrows which the trees will be placed. And then, not tree this time, I will place bushes. Maybe this one Let's do that randomly. And of course, reads. But this is not dense. I want to change the density from this the probability and from this spacing. You can combine this spacing and probability according to your scene. And we have this edge follow. It's very different. I haven't seen this before. If we click this, you will realize the closer models to the edge will be smaller. And it creates very effective transition between your surface and the trees. And of course, you can change the follow distance. Now it's big, and I will increase this. And as you can see, it changes its scale. To make it realistic, I will change random spacing, and by hitting Shift, I will select them all, and then I will use some random scale, rotation, and random rotation. Once this is done, you can move this area to different areas. But we're playing right now. To avoid it, we will click this align once we did before. Now the elevation of this area is not important. Snap to surface. Now I can copy this to here. I can change these nodes, or I can do that even for these 3 lines. Anyway, let's switch to bloom effect. To see it, we must see a sun, of course. If we look at the sun from this direction, we cannot see. Why? Because it's too overcasting. Let's fix that. We will click this ambience, and then from the camera, we will uncheck this auto exposure. And I'm gonna reduce this exposure just like this. But the sun is behind the mountains. I will change the time of the day. As you can see, we started to see some shadow. But again, it's too bright. We have to reduce the sun intensity from environment. Under the details, I'm gonna input here 1000. Way more better. Now, firstly, it slows. After that, I'm using the lumen right now. It calculates its own things, and the speed changing is too faster. Now, where is the sun? Let's look at. I couldn't see it. Oh, it's there. Now, I will go to camera, and here you can see some symbols are changed. For instance, this lens, but it's not important. The important thing is the bloom and flares. We can change the bloom intensity. Now it's 0, and I can make it maximum. And we have textures, and if you hover over them, you will see some names: star filter and sunburst, synthetic, and different kind of textures. This is the new features. Of course, you can add your lens flare. I think this is very nice because it adds the realism onto your scene. Wonderful. This was the new feature about the bloom. Now let's switch to material settings. Alright, here we are in another scene I have prepared for a customer. And we will test the new material for this sofa surface. Is the leather surface right now. Let's go to library. Let's go to materials. Let's go to fabric. And let's try some of these. There are lots of materials right now. I don't know which materials we will use, but for instance, this velvet can be used. As you can see, it looks different. This is a transparent for the curtains. This is a silk material. As you can see, you will realize that this is a fabric material. And its settings are completely new. You can change the core follow. By changing this, the edge surface will be brighter and desaturated to make it realistic. And the fall-off position for that saturation position, and same settings for the edge. And of course we have similar settings, UV, opacity. As you remember, we can use the opacity maps for the surface. I have a tutorial before previously, Twinmotion tutorial, and other settings are the same. This is the main fabric settings. This is very crazy. Let's go to leathers to see if they are under the same fabric material. No, it's another simple material, leathers, but actually I like this material very well. I could use this material for this project. Anyway, to create a material, we will go to these materials, and if you click this, you will clean up the unused materials from the materials. Now, these materials are being used. From here, we will create a new material. But before clicking, if you click this corner, you will see the material type. You will realize the new video material, subsurface, emissive, fabric, glass, and foliage. Foliage is also new. I'm gonna click fabric, and I'm just gonna drag and drop to here. I want to do that a gray, so I will change the tint to gray, dark gray. And same settings happens. We can change the fall-off or intensity. As you can see, these parts are darker and top parts are lighter. By using your own textures about your fabric, they will be way more realistic. Now let's see the differences between the basic material, not fabric. I'm gonna use the standard and use dark gray. This is dark gray, and now I will use the newly created dark gray fabric. On, off, on and off. This is the differences. Let's go to the surface and I'm gonna hit the T and look at what's that. It's a basic. Let's change it. Before changing it, I want to duplicate the texture. From here, I will right click or click, and I'm gonna click this copy. After that, I will click this corner and click this foliage and use that foliage. As you can see, it has its own default texture, and of course you can use it too, but I did copy the previous texture and paste it from here. Now as you can see, it's moving. The mostly prominent feature, it affects from your wind, and it also affected from your seasons. Let's say that I want to make it snow. I can do that from here. Or it can be used as global seasons. If I go to this scene, ambience, and if I change the main season from here, weather, here, as you can see, this season affects to this plant. It works because we changed the material to the foliage. And also it affects from the translucence very well. If we look at from here, actually it will work if we had used this in front of SM. Anyway, this was the foliage material. Alright, now I'm gonna show you how to use the new Ambient Occlusion map. What's the Ambient Occlusion map? Ambient Occlusion map creates fake shadows onto your material. We will test it out with a pebble material and we are going to create it from scratch for this asphalt. Now, let's go to material and let's delete all of the unused materials from here. Now it's clean, and then I will create a standard material. Let's just drag and drop to here and let's create our pebble material. First of all, we are going to assign a simple texture for the diffuse. We are in the color and we will see this detail and we will see this texture. Let's click the symbol and click open. I have located our texture and I'm gonna use this diffuse texture. Not too bad. We can use this, but we must improve the quality. Let's continue. We can add the roughness texture. Same as before. Click open. And here you will see this roughness. Let's use that. And if you change the effect, you can invert. And then I will reduce this intensity. If I do that 50%, it uses the texture color and 100 is a 100%. If you look at closer, you will realize that some parts are completely bright, but some parts are not. It's because we are using this texture and we are telling the Twinmotion, which part will be brighter, which part will be glossier, which part will be shiny. Let's continue. We can assign metallic material, but we don't have right now. Let's go to normal and import our normal material. As you can see, we have some bumps right now. Before, after. Let's add a parallax map from the displacement map. Now you can see the roughness more effectively. Now we are going to use our ambient occlusion map. You will see the differences. If you look closer, you will realize the changing. You must focus to darker place. Manually, I'm going to input here 5. Around of the stones are darker. To see it better, I will apply this ambient occlusion map to another different material. I will go to Insight and maybe I can activate one of the image. And then I will pick up the wall material. And from settings, I will apply a different map. For instance, a brick. Can you realize this line? It's the ambient occlusion effect. Now it's darker and way more darker. I only changed the ambient occlusion and our main texture or main color is white. And we can see some fake shadows as brick. Let's try another to different surface to different purpose. We can even use some imperfection maps, such as this one. It's just an example how you can use the map. You can use this to break the repeating seam effect on your surface, on your tiles, even in the interior or exterior. And this was the new features of Twinmotion 2024.1 preview. If you like this content, I will continue creating more Twinmotion tutorial. If you have any questions, suggestions, please leave your comments under the comment section below. And if you are serious about learning ArchiCAD, you can go to my Patreon page. From there, I will be waiting for you. Alright, thank you for watching. Until next time, have a nice day. Bye.